What's up, fellas? Zan from Forward Progress Madden here, and I know it's been forever, so I'm going to go ahead and just take a few minutes to explain, what's been going on with me lately, why the channel's been slow. So if you're not interested in that, go ahead and skip forward about 2.5 minutes, and we'll get to the tip. The tip I'm bringing you is a tip that I've been wanting to put out for a long time. Yeah, I've known about this since probably November, but it's just something I just haven't had the time to put out. And the reason is that it's been my first year of grad school, and when I started this channel, I knew I was going to grad school. I go to the Southern Illinois School of Medicine, and I'm in a master's program focusing on public health laboratory science, and we do a lot of research and working for the state in there, and I just didn't understand how labor intensive that was going to be. I'm talking, I barely put in any time on the game this year. I was a solid player. I qualified for Vegas. I don't know if many view that as an accomplishment. It wasn't exactly a hard road to get there. I went to Vegas and I won my first round game in Vegas, so that's like round 6 or 7 total for the event. I beat the player who beat Tyronto, who was last year's Madden Challenge winner. I beat him 35-7 in the first game. He's a real nice guy. And then I faced ATL Killicam, who was the runner-up in the last Atlanta tournament. And Killicam beat me by 3. I believe the score was 24-21. And what happened in that game was simply I fumbled 4 times, and that's basically what happened. But outside of that, as far as the channel goes, I just haven't had time to do any videos, and I just finished my last final. I had both a biochem and an immunology final back to back. I barely had time for a bathroom break between them. So that's where all my time and effort's been. But now that I've got more time to do this, all I have is my internship. I'll be firing up some more videos here, getting some tips out. Yeah, basically just because I haven't been around doesn't mean that I don't have any material for you guys to see. In fact, it's about as far from the case as it can be. I just haven't had a whole lot of time to play the game and get you any content on the website. Doing videos is labor intensive, even if you use real simple software like Windows Media Player, or I'm sorry, Windows Movie Maker, or it's even more intensive if you use like a Sony Vegas Pro. So while this is loading here, I'm just kind of explaining what's going on. Basically, just be on the outlook here. We're going to be firing it back up, getting some stuff out. And then my second year of my master's program is real simple. I don't really have anything, so we'll keep the channel rolling from here on out. So what am I bringing you today? What we are going to be looking at is something that I feel is the most slept on tip in Madden. Some people will call it a glitch in the game. I don't really think it is. What we're going to be doing is we're going to have the ability to have any of 30 plays at our disposal at the same time. So essentially we've got 30 audibles at the click of a button. So what we're going to show you here is I'm just going to show you what I've been running this year. I've been running Green Bay all year. I ran it before even the early release came out on the season ticket. It's just something I told myself I'm picking an offense and I'm sticking with it. I know it's real hot right now. A lot of players are running it, but I don't really consider myself a sheep for running it. I picked it, August 15th or 16th whenever I got the game, and I stuck with it the whole year. So what we got here is we got all my audibles, and what we're doing is essentially we've, just for the sake of variety, I'm going to just throw something else here. I'm just going to choose, let's go with goal line QB sneak. So what we've got here is all the audibles. And something that I hear a lot of my lab partners, people I've played, something I've always asked them, knowing that I have the answer for this, I kind of did it like jokingly, is I'd say, why do you have QB sneak in your audibles and power O in your audibles from goal line? And they say, well, I want a quick audible into it. I don't want to have to wait to audible into something and then audible out. So, okay, that's fine. I can understand that. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to come out in the halfback dive, which is, well, actually we won't. Well, that's because that's a quick audible. Let's go ahead and choose a play that's not a quick audible. Select drive. So we're going to run drive. And it doesn't matter what the defense is in. Players like to audible into the QB sneak and quick snap, but maintain the ability to have power O at the same time. Like, so they just put QB sneak and power O in their audible. But what we've got with this tip is the ability to audible into goal line power O without having to go to QB sneak first. And here's what I mean. So, and this does take a little practice. So we got the LB audible is the QB sneak. What we're going to do is audible into the power O. So, and it did not work. But let's go ahead and show you this again. Like I said, it does take muscle memory, and I haven't been playing a whole lot this year, so my muscle memory is gone. As you can see, we're in power O. Not the QB sneak, the power O. So we've got the power O even though it's not in our audibles. So let's say I want to audible back to, I actually want to audible straight into doubles flex wing QB dive, or I'm sorry, halfback dive. And we don't have that as an audible, even though it's a stick audible. So what we're going to do is Y is the read option out of this formation. What we're going to do is we're going to audible straight into the dive.
Mirror, mirror, mirror.
And then we can quick snap it. Now you're asking, you know, how did you do that? If you remember right, there was a video put out. It was a tip early in the year that was put out by Dash from TGL. And Dash came out with the ability to audible into something flipped. So if you wanted to audible into flanker screen, you could also audible into it and flip it. So what you do is you come out in your play and you'd simply just hit your audible button and flip it at the same time. So A and left trigger. And what it would do is, or I'm sorry, A and right trigger. And it would flip your play as you audible into it. What I've done is I've taken that step further. And we've got the ability to audible into, say, slot wheel. Say I don't want to run slot wheel. Let's say I want to audible into the run play from this formation. So what we do is X is the slot wheel. We're going to hit down on the right analog stick at the same time. And it's going to give us the dive play. Or let's say I want to audible into the PA play out of the flex wing. So we'll hit read option and left for the play action audible. And it'll give us our play action play. Or let's say I want to audible into verticals, bunch verticals. I don't think that worked. It did not. And the bumper audibles are a little bit harder because they're not face buttons on the controller, but it can be done. So let's try this again. All we're doing is pressing the button of the formation we want, and we're pressing the stick in the direction we want at the same time to get you into that formation. So RB and right for verticals. Like I said, it takes a little bit of time and practice, but then you'll simply be able to quick snap out of basically any play. And I'm terrible this year. But anyways, I think it's things like these that are the tips that separate great players from good players. And don't get that confused. I'm not saying I'm a great player. Over the years, I've learned how to break down a game a little bit more in an advanced way than most others, but I haven't been the best player from year to year. This is things that kind of transcend the actual strategy of the game, and it makes it more of a convenience issue. So for players that like QB Sneak and Power O in their audibles, they actually now have the ability to do just QB Sneak and still be able to audible into, say, the play action play out of the goal line without having to audible into the QB Sneak and then take 5 more seconds to audible into the actual play. So see, it takes a shorter amount of time is what I'm saying. So that's basically the tip. I know that I only told one person, and I don't think it got out. Some of you may have come across it on yourself naturally after Dash put out the tip, but about the same time Dash put that tip out was about the time I figured out how to do this. So the two tips kind of correlated, and I just did never see it get put out mainstream, so I'm bringing it to you now. I know that there's a $10,000 tournament out there coming up in June for Atlanta. I won't be going, but hopefully some of you can take this tip and help improve your game a little bit. Usually you don't improve your game that much in the summer. A lot of players start to become better in the summer, but everybody's kind of knows all the tips and tricks of the game at that point. So you got players that maybe weren't as good because they were running a lesser offense early in the year that would decide that they want to run something else later in the year because they saw someone else do it, and that's how they got good. This isn't that type of tip. This is something more of a tip where it's something in the game that can help you get better without having to change your scheme. So this can help you no matter what you run. So hope you guys enjoy that. And again, I'm sorry for the layoff, but I promise you we're going to be getting back at it. We've got more tips, but I hope you really enjoyed this one, and I hope it helps you guys win some games.